This meeting is being recorded.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. A very warm welcome to you all, and a huge thank you for your time in being here today. It's quite a special moment, really, in the journey of this programme, having lived and breathed this for 18 months. Just when you kind of worked a lot on something and you think this programme can't get any better, you get 75 incredible women popping into your inbox. So what a thrill that is, and how exciting it is today for all of us to be in this virtual room and to share our passion and commitment and share that same vision to support 500 young women in Devon. We're now part of a network of over 75 great female role models representing over 25 sectors. So that's great, and I've met most of you, not all. We've had some great chats, and thank you very much for that, and sharing your unique and incredible journeys. So my goal really with the network is to get that win-win here. So for you all to receive a rewarding volunteering experience, and for the students to be inspired by your incredible stories and all the knowledge and expertise that you can share about your journeys and your challenges and your sectors and your businesses. So alongside all of that and the personal development that they're going to gain from the workshops, this is going to enable them to be more positive and confident about themselves, their choices and their futures. And what we'd like to do is meet every few months, and we've set a date for the next one as January the 19th. Meet just to send out an invite for that next week, just to give us an opportunity to share this journey together and keep you updated on the programme, and for you to share feedback on your experiences and observations as you participate in the workshop. That's really valuable for our learning and our measurements of the success of the programme. Also, just to say, croaky voice today. Sorry about that. Just to say, we've had a very kind offer from Nash & Co in Plymouth to host a face-to-face meeting at the end of the working day sometime later in the year. So if that's of interest to you, I appreciate the challenges with logistics and the geography, etc. We've also got venues that we use in the Exeter area. So if you think that would be something you'd like to do and you can certain venues, then just let me know and we can set that up. So thank you very much. I think we've got some ladies here from Nash & Co, so thank you for that. We do know from having done this before that your interactions are going to have a really powerful impact on the students and really play a key part in shaping their futures. So we've seen that this transformation is achievable from the small pilot of 70 students in East Devon. And I'm going to hand over to Emily shortly to give you a bit more information on the students. What I can say though is that we've done a lot of baseline research initially in terms of focus groups and full data and a survey that the students have completed about how they feel about themselves and their futures. So we do know that we're starting from a very low base and that many have social, emotional and learning challenges and needs. And they believe that those issues will define their future and they do see them as a barrier. And because of that, they cannot be successful at anything. So we're really confident that with your support and everything that we're doing, that we are going to change that. And I will be able to share as we kind of progress a bit more on research and the impact that we're making. And Emily will share, we are already having some early successes from workshop 1 to workshop 2. And I won't cover all the kind of background again. I've bombarded you with enough documents already, but you'll see from the evidence of impact in the East Devon pilot what the goals are and the successes we've had and what we're trying to create here so that we all kind of know what we're here to do. I just want to give a brief shout out to the ladies that helped pioneer all this, Emily being one of them, but there's many others in the room today as well. They, in a voluntary capacity, created this, and we wouldn't be here today without them. So we're really, really grateful. I hope you get to meet them all. Some of them are here today, and I hope that they might touch on that in their introductions later on. So we're really, really thankful that they've retained their support as well. If you do have any questions after today, you know, any unanswered questions, then just get in touch. You know, I haven't met everybody, so just, you know, just let me know and we can have a further chat any time. Just to kind of summarize really, that No Label, No Limit is one of 8 research projects funded by the Careers and Enterprise Company, happening throughout the country to really test what works in careers support to help remove the barriers of disadvantaged students that impact on their education and careers choices. I want to introduce you to Jo Skeel briefly. Jo is the leader of the Careers Hub for the Heart of the South West, and when she approached us last spring to see if, you know, we had anything going on, any ideas, for this opportunity to bid for this incredible piece of funding, she has supported this every step of the way and been a huge part of getting this over the line. And it's been a huge journey so far. So, and a lot of work. So Jo is the power behind the throne that is the whole Careers Hub, but today she's kind of keeping a little bit of a low profile, but a key technical role in pressing the right kind of Zoom buttons and everything, because she knows if she leaves that to me, we'll all kind of disappear. So I don't know if you just want to say hi briefly, Jo.
Yeah, no, just like you said, I'm just keeping a very low profile today, and you know, handing it over to you and Emily, who are the absolute experts in this, and just and a heartfelt thank you from me for all of your support. It couldn't happen without you, so many thanks.
Thanks, Jo. So thank you. We've already got a group of volunteers that have agreed to go into our first workshops end of November and December. They're not all here today, but they've all been connected to Emily and briefed, and the schools are really excited to meet some of the employers in the network. So thank you for that. I'm going to write out to you again next week to ask for volunteers in some of our further workshops from January through to March, and I think we'll kind of do that in batches. As well as the workshop support, there might be some additional opportunities for support in another couple of ways. Just going to mention the lunch clubs because we've put that in the documents, and I've mentioned that to some of you. We're looking to trial that in some schools from January, and we're talking to the schools now about the finer detail of that. The original vision for that was to give the students a little bit more kind of chill time with Emily and Emma, the two facilitators, ask questions about the content of the workshop and to meet more employers. But since kind of setting that vision up, we've discovered the schools have less time for lunch breaks. They've changed their school timetable, a lot of them this year, and the average lunch break is about 35 minutes. So they're having more breaks and shorter breaks throughout the day. So unless we can work with the school on the logistics of that and bringing them into a room and providing lunch, there's a few issues there. So we'll keep you posted on that one. And also we're discussing possibly a further showcase of female role models at an event in the summer term, following on the last workshop, which focuses on goal setting and personal branding. It might be good if we can agree with the schools to extend that session into a carousel of networking and have a celebratory event. Maybe we focus on different sectors, maybe we have more careers conversations at that point. That isn't appropriate at the moment, but that might be something we could look to do. So any thoughts or ideas, you know, just drop me a line and we'll keep you posted on our communications with that one. I just need to touch on very briefly PR. So today we are launching our PR campaign. We have a press release going out through the Devon portal, and I will send you a copy of that after this meeting, together with a brand pack, which will give you guidelines for any social media posts that you might want to do, any company posts, company communications, personal posts. Do have a look at that. The one thing just to mention is that although we're going to share a lot of detail about the students, the specifics of the programme, you'll see from the press release how we're positioning this. And we just need to be a little bit sensitive about some of the information when we're speaking publicly about this, because it's a small world, and I'm sure you appreciate we don't want to major on the selection of the cohort and the challenges they've had. So do take a look at that when that comes out. Any queries, just drop me a line, and also the lady in Devon County I'm working with, the PR expert Suzanne, she's got her details in there as well. So do let us know. And then lastly, one final thing before I hand over to Emily is I just want to mention youth coaching. So this is a part of the programme that we want to test. We've got a small budget to do some youth coaching in the summer term to a small percentage of the total cohort. We're currently at the stage of researching that and looking at suppliers and how we might do that. And I'm terming that life coaching for adolescents. So we want qualified, experienced life coaches that have proven success with adolescents. And the idea is that the students will get one-to-one coaching sessions to help them apply the personal development learning to their individual challenges. So if you know of anybody, I'm just putting it out there because I'm kind of sourcing that at the moment. So if you know of anybody or any suggestions, any experience in that, then do let me know. So I'm delighted now to hand over to Emily. He's going to give you a bit more information on what to expect in the workshop, give you a flavour of the students and the contents, particularly of those first workshops, 1, 2 and 3, and how you can really add value here. And I just want to say that Emily and Emma are doing an amazing job in some very challenging circumstances, seeing some early successes already in workshops 1 and 2. So I'm whizzing around Devon and powering on through. Thank you for that. After we've heard from Emily, if we want to just raise any questions at that stage before we go into breakout rooms and do our introductions, then we can address that after Emily, and then we'll regroup again after the networking for any further questions as well. So over to you, Emily. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Anne. So hello, everyone. Welcome to today. I'm so excited to see so many of you here. We feel so fortunate that our girls are gonna get to hear from all of you in different capacities, because one of the key reasons for this is because we know that the girls that we have been working with really don't have many positive role models in their lives. Also, they are very limited on what they see for their future and what's open to them and opportunities out there for them. So when we ask you to share your story, they're interested in, I guess, the bits that we would also see as the boring bits, like the obstacles that you've overcome. If you yourself have experienced self-doubt or a lack of confidence at times, and how you overcame those. Because for the girls, well, for the cohort, because we do have some non-binary and some young people who are transitioning from female to male, but they still want to be in this group to absorb the confidence side of it and kind of understanding and loving and embracing who they are. But with our cohort, as Anne touched on, we are starting at a very low base. So one of the exercises that I've done with them in previous workshops is to get them to write down what their inner critic or their inner bully says when no one else is listening. And the reoccurring theme was, I'm worthless. People see me as a problem. I'm not loved, I'm not wanted, there's nothing good about me. These were reoccurring themes, which of course were incredibly difficult to read in such volume. but it gave us such an understanding of actually our baseline and where we're starting from. So what Emma and I have found as we've been going through, the more personal anecdotes we can share with them, if you feel comfortable doing it, you do not have to do this by any means, but what we found works when sharing our story is sharing with them actually the tough times, and that even though they perceive us to be these successful people, we still experience self-doubt, we still have imposter syndrome, we still fear whether we're good enough at times. I mean, you may not think any of these things, in which case I applaud you and need to talk to you, but they will definitely benefit from that kind of experience and understanding from you. So just to give you a very 1 minute background on me, so you know where I'm coming from. I'm an external provider, so my business is Small Steps, Big Vision. By trade, I'm a teacher. I've got over 12 years experience. I was a head of drama at Oakhampton College for a while. But 6 years ago, when I was pregnant, I developed severe depression, and so did my husband. And I was in hospital with panic attacks, pregnant. It was a disaster. But we vowed to get well before our son was born. And we did through self-help, going to therapy, personal development, audio books. Like, we basically did everything possible. And when we did get well, I couldn't understand why this stuff wasn't taught in schools, having been a teacher, because I think if I'd known the strategies and the skills that I use to get well again, and that I use on a daily basis to prevent me from getting poorly, you know, I don't think I would have got so ill. And so when COVID hit, I was teaching at a stage school with Emma, who's my co-facilitator, and we were seeing students come back a shell of themselves, lacking in confidence, no self-worth. And this was at a stage school where normally, you know, it's all about getting up on stage and having confidence. So I thought, well, if this is happening here, what's happening in other schools, in the wider community? And that's when I set up Small Steps, Big Vision, to go into schools and colleges and universities to deliver workshops based on confidence, raising aspirations, building resilience, and letting them know that their voice matters. Because again, that's when we did our baseline assessments, another thing that kept coming out was the fact that they didn't feel like they had a voice. So when we asked them questions, they were reluctant to respond because they didn't feel heard, they didn't feel listened to. And that's a real shift from teaching to workshop, is that, you know, we do have much more open conversations. As a member of staff, I could never have told them that I had depression. I couldn't have talked openly about that. We're not really allowed to do that, or we weren't when I was teaching. Whereas now, the conversation is a bit different. And by no means am I asking you to reveal your deepest, darkest, you know, secrets, but I find storytelling is the most powerful way to communicate with them and to gain trust. And in terms of that, I think that's a really important point to pick up on. We've seen such a difference between workshop 1 and workshop 2 with the girls. So we've been putting them together, the workshops, and initially there is hesitancy. I've had students give me cards saying that they don't like new change, they don't like new people in the room, but they're willing to give it a go. Like, there's quite a bit of resistance initially, whereas in workshop 2, it's quite different already. So we know that these workshops are having impact, which is amazing, but the baseline is very low. So, you know, anything we can do to make those students feel seen, feel heard, and feel like they matter, like, that's the key to this. So when you share your journey and your story, there might be a bit of resistance. There might not be glued into you. And I know a lot of you have got experience in education, so that's fabulous. But it's not because they're being rude, it's just they don't trust. Whereas if you can find those opportunities in the workshops to say, oh, what do you think? Or how do you feel about that? You know, and you're allowing them to be heard, and you listen to them, you as this brilliant, inspiring woman actually hearing them, it's so powerful. So in the workshops, like, I encourage you to have those moments if it comes up, if it happens, if you know, and if I'm like carrying on the workshop, you can continue that conversation. Don't worry about like having to stop it dead just because we're moving forward. You know, it's those small interactions which I think are going to have the biggest impact on these young people. But I'm so excited to get started with you all and welcome you all in. And I'm still learning. You know, this cohort are a cohort that are much more challenged than I have ever experienced, because we've grouped them all together, and that comes with its own challenges. So I'm learning on a daily basis. So if you're not sure about something, please ask me. I arrive to school sometimes and there are non-binary young people in there and I haven't been given the heads up. So then I have to have those conversations with those students. You know, would you like me to? How would you like to be called? What's your name? How shall I refer to you? But I will do all that. But it might be that in the lesson, I'm like, oh, we need to think about this. We need to think about that. So don't worry about that. If we get it wrong, sometimes it's okay. They understand. You know, we're all learning. So I'm just excited to get started. That's it.
Excellent. Thank you, Emily. And so just to say also, there is always a classroom member in the classroom as well, you know, at least one, and sometimes they have other assistants joining them. So, you know, the support is there. So great. Hopefully that's kind of given you a bit of a flavour. Hopefully you're more excited and you're not kind of, oh, we're not going to see you again. Because we know that a lot of you are involved in lots of different youth programmes and just have so much that will add impact to this. So before we go into breakout rooms, has anybody got any questions at this stage? Anything at all that hasn't been covered that you really need to know, or just a thought you want to share at this stage? I see some really helpful points in the chat, so thank you for that. Nothing?
Anne, could I just ask about, I know that several people I've spoken to getting involved in the programme don't live anything like in this area that they're coming to us. Could you just emphasise what are the virtual opportunities for those individuals to get involved with? Just a quick reminder of what they might be, please.
Yeah, sure. Well, Emily might want to cover this as well, but from our perspective, in the initial workshop, the preference is definitely for face-to-face, if possible. Later on, once they're used to you know, meeting employers, etc., the trust is there and they're really engaged in the programme, then that might be the point to bring in virtual interactions or some additional recorded videos. So you know, that's very much possible, because I know we've got some individuals that would love to do that, and they're from really great and great companies. But the other thing around this is whether the schools can accommodate that, and I think it varies. So I'll let kind of Emily perhaps touch on that, but I know it varies in terms of their capacity to bring this in. But we would like to do some of that for sure. Anything else to add on that one, Emily? Virtual interaction?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is the challenge of tech is not ideal in school. We never know, even schools that have been good in the past, then something's happened or a staff member is away. So really, like virtual like this on Zoom, I personally don't think that is a viable option. But what is a viable option, and what is super helpful, would be like a pre-recorded 3-minute video that can be downloaded onto my computer and saved, so that I don't have to worry about, you know, tech, and they can maximize the opportunity of you and your experience and really gain what they want. And then if you're open to it, what would be nice if you wanted to go the video option would be like, I could take questions from the floor and then submit them to you, so that when I return, I can give them those answers, or you can pre-record another 3-minute video with the responses. So that would be a really lovely option. But yeah, like last week I was in a scout hut with no heating and no computer. So I like in terms of maximizing the benefit from all of you, you know, I think if a virtual option is your preferred, that's absolutely fine. But I think we go the pre-recorded video route.
Any other questions? Okay, well, conscious of time, and we're all keen to kind of get to know anyone. We'll have some time, you know, for more questions at the end before we end the meeting. Just a reminder of this kind of next stage. Really, we're going to be sort of randomly split into 2 groups because too many in one room to do that. But we'll hopefully get to meet everybody over time at the different meetings. We're going to have around 45 minutes for this, so it gives everybody a little bit more time then, just to kind of share their current role, brief career highlights as you want to share them. And I put down there a piece of advice you'd like to give your 14-year-old self. If you'd like to share that would be great. If not, don't worry. If you want to maybe just highlight a challenge, as Emily has said, or you know, anything you want to share about your life or your work that you think would help engage these young ladies, then that would be great. So kind of 2 to 3 minutes each, and then we'll regroup and share any thoughts. So Jo, are we ready to
I hope so. I hope this works. Fingers crossed. I will stay back at base just in case anybody gets missed, but hopefully this works. So.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh, Jo, where are you going? I've missed one person. Oh, hold on. Oh, do you know what? That's because I thought you were me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Hopefully you should disappear soon. Hi, Karen.
Hi there.
Hello. You're not it's not just me here, I promise, but I've literally just sent everybody off into breakout rooms. So bear with me and I will assign you to a breakout room.
That's fantastic. And there's some introductions then to happen, isn't there?
Absolutely, that's exactly what you're just about to join now. So there's about 45 people, so we've just split you into 2. So yeah, you've just missed the reintroduction that we've recorded, but I'll pop you into breakout rooms so you don't miss the intros.
Perfect.
Bear with, hopefully you'll disappear soon.
shared there. Oh,
Oh.
hello, we're back in. So we still have 6 ladies who haven't had the opportunity to introduce themselves. I don't know how you got on, Emily, if there's still some in your group as well. If that's the case, Caroline came up with a great idea that we make some little videos along the line that we did with the East Devon pilot, so I can share that with everybody, and we can, you know, do that to introduce everybody if you're happy to do that. The other thing is that we're doing some little case studies and profiles on some of the women supporting the programme that we're going to push out through social media and the PR. So if you're happy to do that, I'm going to send you a link to put in some details on that, and we'll definitely put you at the top of the list for the next meeting as well. And we can also do that via our, you know, our email communications. So so apologies for that. Did you have anybody in your group that didn't get an opportunity, Emily, to say hi?
Yeah, we have 7 as well. But
Okay.
I've said that I would give them my email and phone number if they wanted to chat. Then they.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah. Apologies all. I set the timer and I couldn't find a way of extending it once we were already in there. So apologies for that. But hopefully it gives us some time to kind of wrap up and ask any final questions or share anything else before we end.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I mean, it's great. That's the beauty and the drawback of having so many of us. You know, it's phenomenal to see that. So any burning questions at this moment in time? Emily and Joe, thank you for everything. Is there anything you think I've missed and need to cover at this point?
No, nothing from me, Anne, I don't think. Like I say, just to mop up with any questions now. We've heard more about everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nothing extra from me.
Okay. Emily, anything else you want to add?
Nope, nothing.
Okay. A lovely comment in the chat there. Thank you, Jane. Fantastic. Well, if you do want to stay for further 10 minutes, we could just start picking off some of these women, if you can stay. Some of those who haven't had a chance to say hi. If you would like to do that, or if you've got somewhere else to be, you know, entirely up to you.
Can I just ask quickly, so in terms of next steps, sort of, will we be invited to kind of be involved in a session? Is that sort of what's going to happen after the end of this?
Yes, absolutely. So we've had an initial kind of group of volunteers that are going into the workshops from end of November through into December, into 5 schools. And we'll have another kind of batch of workshops. I'll write out next week with all those dates and times and schools and what the workshops are, and you know, a background on that. So yeah, that's one of the kind of next steps. I don't know if you didn't hear the bit at the beginning. I'm going to send information on PR as well, and our next meeting on January the 19th. So but just, yeah, we haven't met yet, so just contact me with any queries at all. Really happy to have a further chat and I'll answer anything else.
And it might just be worth mentioning, there's just been a couple of comments in the chat around potentially a LinkedIn group, so that we can kind of keep connected.
Yeah.
And answer any questions that come through, and you know, just keep that communication channel open. So I'm very happy to look into that if that would help.
That's a good idea. Yeah, thanks for that. Absolutely. Yeah, excellent. Any other comments or thoughts? Or it's been awesome to meet you all and you know, find out a bit more about you. Thank you so much for all that openness and sharing your journey as well. I think that's just going to be so powerful in the program. And really good luck to those first volunteers as well, you know, who are going to be stepping into the unknown. Expect the unexpected, I would say. But I think it's going to be a really rewarding experience for everybody. Anything? Yeah, Was that a hand there somewhere?
Yeah,
No?
it was me. Just to say that I've been talking to a couple of people from Devon County Council about setting together a youth entrepreneurship ecosystem conference.
Okay.
And although, you know, the focus here of this group is kind of empowerment, encouragement, and not as much entrepreneurship per se, I think there's a lot of overlap in the entrepreneurial skills in terms of that confidence, that action, etc. And so we're at the early stages yet. We're trying to figure out when would be the best time, and I'm trying to get some funding from the Royal Society for the Arts.
Okay.
I decided that I'm a fellow of the Royal Society, so, you know, why don't I put that into use and see whether they'll give us some money to do this.
Yeah.
We already have a venue, which is great. The university is offering us a venue, which is great. And we're at the early stages of figuring out, you know, what do we want that to look like? It's basically to connect that ecosystem. There's a lot of people doing a lot of different things within youth entrepreneurship and you know, left hand, right hand kind of stuff. So I'd love for you to be involved, Anne and Joe and others. And I was thinking that perhaps it's Polly Frost I've been talking with mostly about this. And I thought that perhaps, you know, we can all kind of meet up and decide what we want to do with this conference. But at the next step we're at, I mean, where we are now is trying to get money for it.
Yeah.
and then we'll scramble and plan it once in more detail once we know if we have some funding or not.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for mentioning that. That sounds really exciting. Yeah, really happy to talk some more about that.
Yeah,
Anybody else?
Anybody in this group who would like to join, who is interested, just let Anne know, and then we will have, and then, you know, once we know more, we can let you know via Anne. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Any other questions or any other kind of comments or thoughts or anything else you're working on you want to share, or you know, in relation to this?
I can go ahead if you want. So we do work with local schools. No, I just thought I'd talk a little bit about listening to everybody else, trying to beef us up a little bit to show that we do some stuff. But we go along to the local schools and help them out. So even if it's simple things like, you know, make more of an effort towards your functional skills, that's going to help you later on. Don't always talk about nursing, so obviously we can talk about healthcare, we can talk about roles within the NHS, which I must admit I don't know an awful lot about, but I'm learning that there are quite a few more roles and things that people don't often think about. So thinking about like the architects that have spoken this morning and some of that other business partner type of roles, we do all of that, but obviously being a nurse, I don't always hear of everything. So my biggest problem at the moment is just trying to find out what else we do, because I'd like, when I go out, I want to be able to talk about everything rather than just my little bit, which I know lots about, but I don't know, you know, even down to simple things like hotel services, you know, that I've been liaising with their manager to get more info, so that when we go out, if people ask, we can say what we do, but give them a contact detail. So things like that. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing this. I think it'll be really good, because inspiring people is something that we have to work hard on. You know, just making them realise they can go further if they want to. And seeing that spark that comes in their eyes when they think they can do more. And I just find that really rewarding. So thought I'd add a little bit on at the end.
No, thanks, Joe. That's great. And I don't know about your group, Emily, but we kind of did talk a little bit about challenging gender stereotypes. And there was a great session that Sue, she can't be here today, ran in the pilot. And that's kind of an underlying theme throughout all the workshops. We're not going to focus specifically on it in one workshop, but it's kind of it's there, and the messages will come through in lots of different ways. And that is very much something that, you know, we want them, they see from an early age, and they certainly described this and articulated this quite well in the focus groups. You know, they do see jobs that are for men and jobs that are for women, and, you know, quite a traditional approach to that. Some of that could be the locality, family backgrounds, etc. But yeah, we want to be dispelling those perceptions and myths, and allow them to, you know, have the confidence to follow their dreams, whatever. So I think what's really great is we've got this variety of roles and sectors, and, you know, some of them are traditionally, we've had quite a lot of conversations about this through our one-to-one chats and getting to know one another. They are, you know, traditionally sort of male dominated industries. So that's something to get through in the messages to the young people as well, I think.
Could I just jump in on there and say,
Yes.
put in a quick plug? I haven't had a chance to speak and I won't do a profile now, but I just want to say on that note about the space industry, which is so topical at the moment with the Cornwall Spaceport and the launches that are happening and Artemis and all of that. And I just want to put a plug in there for how amazing it is to see such a huge expansion of the industry, and that now is a fantastic time for young women to get involved. That's all.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm really sorry, Kate, because your role is really interesting. Do you want a minute now, if people would like to? Because I think it's quite specialised, and it's
very specialised.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do if I couldn't do this. But yeah, I'll just quickly say I'm a senior flight dynamics engineer. I fly spacecraft currently from my bedroom, and we have the main office now out at Goonhilly Satellite Earth Station, and we're building a new office at Cornwall Spaceport in Newquay. I don't know, I was sort of prepared before, I'm not now. I've had like a lot of people here, quite a rocky career path. When I left school, I had no idea what I kind of thought I knew what I wanted to do. I was very interested in astronomy, but for some reason it didn't really sink in that it was possible. I think I had imposter syndrome very early on. So I spent a good 6 years waitressing and doing various, I was just lost. But I did end up doing an aerospace engineering degree and a physics degree, and worked for Optus in Australia, which was the only company in Australia at the time that flew spacecraft. Advice to 14-year-old self would definitely be to arm yourself with knowledge about abusive and coercive relationships. I am now a single parent. That's probably enough information there. But yeah, I had quite a career break bringing up young children, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey, but now I'm back in it, and yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Kate. I'm glad you got an opportunity there. That's fantastic. So look, I won't keep you. I have, I can stay on a little bit longer if you want to chat.
Sorry, just before you wrap up, I think there was just one question from Lucy. I don't know whether Lucy,
okay.
Was it a question or a comment?
Oh, hello. No, I've just messaged Jo. It was to say that I work for the Royal Devon Trust and offer careers advice and work experience programs. So if I could be of any help to her building her knowledge of the jobs in the NHS and things like that, I'm happy to meet up. So that was all it was. Thank you.
Great. No, that's great. Thanks, Lucy. That's brilliant. Well, just to say thank you so much for your time, your support, your commitment, and all that. I know that you're going to have an amazing year with us. Contact me anytime, any questions. I'll try not to bombard your inbox too much, but there's going to be one today and one next week, key bits of information for you on PR and participation in the next workshops in the spring. We don't want to clog up your diaries, but that if everybody could participate in one workshop, then all the schools and all 500 young women would have some very inspiring multiple encounters with you over the year, and that would be amazing. We don't expect you to participate in everything. You've got lives and jobs and all the rest of it to do, but if you can, that would be fantastic. And just to say, great to meet you all. Look forward to seeing as many of you as possible at the next meeting in January the 19th. Just dip in as and when you can. I'll study the chat at the end and make sure we've kind of covered everything there. I can see there's some great suggestions there, and a LinkedIn group and what have you. So thank you. It's been a really, I hope for you, a good use of an hour and a half, really valuable for us. So thank you. Good luck to everybody, and thank you. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you.